Boruto chapter 15 is finally out for Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, and I haven't read the chapter myself yet, but this right here is going to be my original first reaction to the chapter for you guys to basically enjoy at the same time as me. Now, I'm going to go over my thought process as I go along with it, as we have done before on the previous chapters, and I have no doubt in my mind that Kishimoto and Ikemoto actually, because we have to start giving him recognition since, as we know recently, he actually has planned out the story by himself, with Kishimoto just telling him the general idea or the general story that where he wants Boruto to go. But let's just jump into the important stuff, which is the chapter itself. Now, the cover, right off the bat, I am absolutely loving the cover for chapter 15. I was actually surprised to see Ryo being used as the cover since he was just introduced, but I absolutely love the fact that they did that, especially with the background. We know that Ryo was a shinju that was made from Shinki, and Shinki controls the Iron Sand, and the entirety of the background just looks like a black sand and mountains. Also, the contrast from everything being black and Ryo in the orange shade, absolutely amazing in my opinion. Pages 2 and 3 seem to be going over the events that transpire and cause Shinki to be taken in. Seems that they really were just not of any matter at all to Matsuri. They were just caught as collateral damage. Obviously, Gaara being the father and the Kazekage, he is trying to protect them and uses his sand to trap them and just basically get them away. So Gaara tries to send them away in the sand, trying to hold back Matsuri and the remaining Shinju that are just mindless foot soldiers. And we kind of get the panel of Gaara being surrounded, which if I didn't know any better, I'll probably believe that this is Gaara's last moments. But obviously Shinki is not going to let that happen. He is somehow able to get his hand out, and we already know Iron Sand is denser than the regular one, so he uses his sand to break the seal that Gaara had placed in him and was trying to take him out. Then decides to intervene and quite literally stops Gaara from being bitten and turned into a Shinju. Not gonna lie, at this point I would rather Gaara be turned into a Shinju just to see if we can get a better haircut on him, because seriously, anything is going to be better than what he has right now. Shinji succeeds in protecting Gaara. Unfortunately for him, he got caught by one of the Shinju instead and was bit, which, as we all know, he is about to turn into a tree and the Shinju will be born from him. Here is the determination on Shinki though. Even though he is becoming a tree, like halfway through becoming a tree, he is still holding out his hand in order to make sure that Gaara is completely safe. Matsuri gets close to check on the seal where Gaara has been placed, and she actually confirms it because Shinki is still alive. Even though he has been turned into a tree, the seal is still active. And then we get an interesting line from her. She says that he risks his life to protect his master, which she regards as admirable grit, and says that he might make an interesting teammate. And I feel like this gives us a little bit of an insight as to what the personality of the Shinju are, just because she is honing in on the fact that his final moments he tried protecting his master and risked his life. Maybe the Shinju not only are born with some sort of like the physical look of the person that they bid, but also their personality. Kankuro then begs Shikamaru to help him rescue Shinki, and in order to get Gaara out, because Shinki is the only one who can actually get Gaara out. And Shikamaru asks if anyone with the same chakra signature has showed up. Obviously, because of the fact that Hidari showed up and he had the same chakra signature as Sasuke. Kankuro confirms nothing happened. Shikamaru states that they're investigating, and Kankuro asks that Temari doesn't find out about any of this because obviously she's going to be worried and they just don't want her to know. Shikamaru tells Sara to let him know if Boruto contacts her just to try to get some more info out of him, but the frog that is spying on them seems a little bit too close to Shikamaru in my opinion, so there's no way that he doesn't know that the frog is there. And here we go, back to the Shinju cave so we can find out more about this Giga Chad that is Ryu, because damn, I mean look at him. Jura just tells him his name, and it seems that Ryu is actually quite fond of the name. Whether it is because he actually likes it or just because it came from Jura, we don't really know yet. But something interesting happens. Ryu seems to notice something, not sure yet if Matsuri's reaction means that she noticed it too or what. But if that's not the case, then Ryu has some massive perception abilities, because it can't be that just now he is the only one that is noticing this. Because he seems to have found Code, who was there spying on them. Probably the fact that he can also use the same claw grimes as the Shinju, but that doesn't really help him much. And this panel confirms that Matsuri was just weirded out. She didn't really sense anything, so that speaks huge about Ryu. Jura isn't even faced by Count Dracula, or Dracula. Not one tiny little bit. He just tells Ryu to let him go, because what's the point to keep him? He goes as far as just to randomly ask him if he needs anything from the Shinju, and Code is just confused why they are out there trying to devour Otsutsuki. since that should be their purpose. But Jura is just like, there's a mountain of things that take priority. A mountain of things that take priority. Just think about that for a second. Is Jura really that curious about awakening intelligence and ego? Code, for some weird reason, thinks he's actually in some sort of position to order the Shinju around and tells him to go eat an Otsutsuki, but that he will have the chakra fruit to inherit Ishiki's will because he's still obsessed on Ishiki. And he did the dumbest thing he could ever do. He put the idea in Jura of actually the Shinju devouring the chakra fruit and what might happen to them. A massively powerful tool to a newly awakened Shinju. Oh, this panel just shows exactly how stupid Code is. He actually is talking like he controls the Shinju, saying he's gonna teach him pain and activating his white karma. We all know how this is gonna pan out. But Jura effortlessly just shoots off his arm. He didn't even move a single muscle, just looked down and shot it. He then thanks Code for awakening them like he did. Then he has a full-on condescending conversation with Code, telling him he lacks meaning, so he will just give him one, and then end the life of Boruto, and I will offer you the chakra fruit in return. But I highly doubt Jura is actually gonna go through with it. Even if Code were to actually be Boruto, which is never going to happen, highly doubt that Jura is gonna go through. And if that wasn't humiliating enough for Code, even Mabushi is making fun of Code. Dude has become a massive clown for the entirety of the Boruto series, when he used to be quite literally at some point the strongest ever in the Naruto Next Generation, before Kawaki and Boruto awakened their true powers. Then Code leaves thinking he somehow still has the upper hand. Meanwhile, Hidari is just staring like a typical Sasuke would. Ryo states he wants to kill Code, and while Jura tells him to do whatever he wants, he focuses more on figuring out who is the target that Ryo feels more like going after. Obviously, the target he has in mind is Gaara, because that is the one person that Shinki was most connected to. And quite frankly, it fits the pattern. Mabushi came after the one that he was in love with, Ada. Nothing else goes on in his life, really. Hidari came from Sasuke, and he was most connected to his daughter. Matsuri from Moegi, who had feelings for Konohamaru. And Ryu to Gaara. Jura to Naruto is the only one that I'm a little bit iffy about, just because I don't really understand quite yet the connection that Jura has with Naruto, since Jura comes strictly from the Ten Tails. And I don't believe Naruto ever met that Ten Tails, because that was the one that Ishiki kept in a separate dimension. So I'm not exactly sure what the connection is on that. Anyway, we switch over to Boruto sitting on top of his dad, and Kawaki shows up. Boruto makes sure that he is alone just so that they can talk, and Kawaki is wondering why Boruto hasn't told the entire village the truth of everything that happened when Ada basically swapped them. And Boruto is actually very logical with his explanation and reasoning, saying that he wants to keep the confusion away from Konoha, so he decided to keep that part out of the story. Then Kawaki brings up the issue of the karma. Seems that he noticed Boruto can't control it yet, and Boruto starts telling him that the last time he used it was during the fight when Sasuke became a tree, saying that when he used the karma he stopped feeling himself, and apparently Momoshiki hadn't shown up since. Which sucks, because I really want to see Momoshiki and the way that he looks after this time skip, and everyone has basically just upgraded their dress code or whatever. On top of the fact that Momoshiki is one of my favorite characters in Boruto, don't judge me. He just is, but obviously Kawaki is only thinking about Momoshiki. So Boruto shifts the conversation about the Shinju and tells Kawaki he needs to help fighting them because Jura is too strong. Kawaki then tried to go back to the Momoshiki thing, and Boruto just shuts him up by saying, listen, let's deal with the Shinju first. If anything happens after that, you can go and have fun and kill him. And here is the page of the leaks that we got this week. Boruto tells him that it would have been much better if Kawaki actually trained with Naruto, because since he's too stubborn, he's not gonna do that. So now, the only option that they have, since that is not an option anymore because of time, it seems that Boruto's gonna tell Kawaki something that he saw using Koji's future seeing ability. There's no way. Amado actually sealed Kawaki's power, and he put limiters on Kawaki too. We knew he put limiters on Code so he wouldn't be stronger than Ishiki, but it seems that he did it on Kawaki too. That's just crazy. Both on offense and defense, as well as regenerative. But not only that, yo, what the hell? Amado even turned Kawaki's eyes into cameras for him to use. He is actually watching right now. So now Amado is trying to figure out if Koji is alive, and what is his motive to help Boruto. Boruto gets up and says that he's heading out, and it seems that Kawaki has made his decision. He decided to side with Boruto by dealing with the Shinju first, than each other by any means necessary, even if it means partnering with Boruto. And now this is the corniest thing I have ever seen. I hate this. Don't weigh me down, bro. You too, jerk. Stop. Please, stop. It's just not good. Now that's the end of the chapter, and what we have gathered from here is actually quite a decent amount of things. We know that one, Kawaki is so weak, but it's not because of himself and not training. It's just because Amado placed a massive limiter on him, covering pretty much everything. Offense, defense, regeneration, everything. 2, we know that Boruto and Kawaki have teamed up, which is good in a way. And 3, Ryo is gonna go straight for Gaara, but that was kind of a given. Things are unfolding very quickly, even though month after month, every chapter that comes out, we get a lot of information, but everything is just tying together and everything just happened within such a short amount of time that I'm actually quite excited to see every single chapter that comes out every month. Unfortunately, we only get them once a month, so this is what we got to deal with. But you guys let me know, what did you think about this chapter and what it provided us? Let me know in the comment section. I'll see you guys on the next video.